Welcome back to Founders in the Field, the show where we go behind the scenes with agency leaders, consultants, and creative founders to show you how they're building, scaling, and staying sane in the trenches. I'm your host, Stefan Bradley, and today's guest is Mark Harry. He is the founder and CEO of SEO Game. How you doing, Mark?
Good. Thanks, Stefan, for inviting me to your podcast.
No, thank you. Let's dive in with the first question. For people who don't know your story, take us right back to the start of your journey and what made you start your own business, and give us an overview of what your role looks like today inside SEO Game.
Well, I don't think we have as many years as I've been in business, 29 years, to go over that question, but I do have a shorter answer. I started SEO Game in 1996, and it was my second company I started because I spawned off of a first company, which was a technology company called an Internet Service Provider, an ISP, and I kind of was solving the world's problems in the 90s, and that would be fixing fax machines, getting everyone on lightning speed dial-up. And with that being said, I was able to have and get clients, and I ran a great ISP. But the clients I really enjoyed working with were digital marketing agencies. So what happened from that foundation of that first company is I sold it, I got out of it, and I had clients already wanting my services in SEO, search engine optimization. But these were SEO companies already established, web designers. They were marketing officers. They were, hired by the companies. Like today, we would call a fractional CMO. And I worked for all these different types of people: digital agencies, SEO companies, web designers, fractional CMOs, and I help them look good and grow and scale their business. So fast forward 29 years, I still do the same thing. And you would be surprised, nothing has changed with SEO like the way I have seen it. And I come from a perspective of working behind the scenes for digital marketing agencies, but agencies have not changed. And I can get into that a little bit more, but
Yeah.
that's a little bit about what SEO Game is about.
So, and you have, from what I've read, is SEO Game is white labeling. So an agency, just for my viewers, just so I'm a bit of a broader understanding, my understanding is that agencies would hire you to come and do the SEO work for them, for their clients. And then you're sort of like behind the scenes, and then the client never sees you. Is that sort of correct?
Yeah, and that just sounds so 2025, right? We're moving into 2026, and everybody's wanting to know what we're doing. It's exactly that. I'm behind the scenes helping the digital agency look good and grow and scale their business, but the owners of these websites that the digital agencies are over, their book of business, I help them acquire number one rankings and visibility, and there's ways to do that. So much more strategy in delivering a monthly report that you need to focus not just on, hey, we're number one ranking, but we also have to focus on what I love is attribution. Attribute a number one ranking to attribute more phone calls every month, to attribute a number one ranking such as, tree removal near me, tree removal Salt Lake City is where I'm located. To get a number one ranking is great, but the client, that tree arborist, the tree removal company, they want to see more phone calls and web traffic, and they want their digital agencies to start telling the story of attribution, why we do SEO, and I'm helping them with visibility, and there's so much more. And so I'm thinking that the word of the day instead of SEO is visibility engine optimization, because now there's Google, there's ChatGPT's comment. I mean, that's Perplexity's comment, and then ChatGPT's Atlas and Gemini. And everybody wants to get found there, and they want to get more visibility, and they want more traffic and more phone calls.
So that's what I was going to ask you, actually, where you said, obviously it hasn't changed, but obviously it must have changed a bit with the AI optimization, where like clients want to rank in when the AI sort of suggests somewhere to go. Do you help with that also?
Yes, absolutely, because the agencies look to me, I'm the coach's coach. And they have what's called FOMO, fear of missing out, as well as the tree removal company in Salt Lake City. I just love using examples like that. Okay. So they want to get their visibility in all of Salt Lake City. And if they can, they're going to get more phone calls and web traffic if they're number one ranking. And right now, you can go to a tree removal company, an arborist, and you could say to this owner of this website, we're number one, but if the phone isn't, he's not going to be a client very long. So it's up to the coach's coach to help the digital agency calm down. I know you watched that TikTok video or that YouTube video about we need to get in ChatGPT and all that great stuff. And there's a lot of smoke and mirrors and all that. However, the numbers don't lie in Google Analytics, do they? Well, you know exactly what traffic websites receiving. And really, if you can improve traffic and make the phone ring more and the web traffic sing, all you have to do is just stay focused, and then you'll have a lifetime client forever. And so number one ranking just isn't cutting it anymore. Although I like doing number one rankings for my clients, and I like doing 30-day test drives to do all of that, they just need a little bit more, storytelling of why we do SEO to get more phone calls and web traffic. That's the answer.
Yeah, so that's the correlation that they want, isn't it? They want to be top, but they also need the correlation to look like it's actually making us have more phone calls.
Why do a whole bunch of busy work if it's not going to produce any results?
Yeah.
And the results always for these owners of these websites that hire digital agencies is got to have an attribution behind it. Phone calls, web traffic, directions, more leads, more index keywords, more visibility, and how far Salt Lake City is a big city where I live.
Yeah.
But if you're only ranking in a 1 mile radius for your keywords, you're missing out on the 20-mile radius you should be ranking for on number one. You need to be found everywhere. Because last I checked, a tree removal company wants to remove trees wherever they are called, and they want the calls. That's all they care about.
So it's these slight tweaks, like what you said about keywords and making sure that the reach is getting there, that actually changes. Because you could be top and not getting the phone calls, and it's these tweaks that you do that actually enables it to make sure that they correlate correctly. Is that kind of
Isn't
correct?
Google evil? They make us jump through all these hula hoops, and they make the owners of businesses go, whoa, I hired a marketing strategist to help me, and I just blew through thousands of dollars and nothing happened. Nothing worked. They need, like I said, an agency needs a coach or somebody who can fulfill to make them look good. And if I'm doing my job to make them look good and grow and scale their business, they'll have lifetime clients, because the clients that they service want to pay that agency for the longevity of their business till they die, sell their business, or retire. That's a lifetime client.
Yeah.
They just forgot that they need to go after lifetime clients. So digital agencies also get that guidance from SEO Game. One of the things that we do is I give 5 introductions a day to digital agencies that they can call. These are closed deals where they get the full dossier and they can figure out who they are and who the decision maker is and when was the last time they hired somebody for a campaign. It's great data. But if you're getting 5 a day that are hand layups, I call them these are just easy shots on a basketball. Layup is the easiest shot.
Yeah.
If you're getting 5 a day, you should be closing more deals. And if they're closing more deals, then I'll benefit by getting started on their 30-day test drive to help them get that lifetime client. It takes a little while to build trust. Hey, nothing is better than trust building when the client is getting 10 times more phone calls and web traffic, for just getting started on a campaign such as SEO. And SEO happens to be the only campaign in all of, paid media, email marketing, new website design, social media market, anything else. So SEO, visibility engine optimization, happens to be the only campaign that in 30 days makes the phone ring more than anything, makes web traffic improve, and it's permanent. Lovely, isn't it? It's like all permanent. It stays number one forever as long as you keep working with your digital agency.
So it's not just just SEO that you work with, basically. If you're helping the digital marketing agency, get more clients and sort of being like you said, their coach's coach, and you said about storytelling and things like that. So you kind of coach them on not just SEO things, but also how to get them to get more clients also.
Yeah, isn't that wonderful? I have a little mini CRM that is an agentic AI sales tool that just does all the It forces them to close deals, and I give them 5 referrals a day. Not to mention is in my 7 deliverables that I focus on. Every month, the agency gets 7 deliverables to help their clients retell the story of why they're paying them a monthly fee. Now, the digital agency might be charging $500, $700, $800, $1,000 a month, right? And the owner of those websites are going to pay that money because they're getting fantastic phone calls. They're getting fantastic results from their SEO. They're getting fantastic leads and web traffic. So if the digital agency can close and sell a deal for, let's say, a dentist who's going to pay them $1,000 a month. This is a dentist that's getting $20,000 customers for dental implant procedures. Very high, big ticket. Now, if that dentist is willing to pay the marketing agency for the SEO campaign $1,000, that's when I come in and say, I can bill you now because the trial is over. Here's my $300 invoice. That's 70% margins. That's a no-brainer. They get the coaching, they get the deliverables, and they get the leads, and they can go after and get more. And now they have the testimonial to go after more dental implant dentists, more. Now they can get up to 50 dental implant dentists, and then they can use SEO as the lead magnet to do what? Build the dentist a new website every 5 years, build them more social media campaign, build them more paid media campaign, build them whatever they email marketing, whatever they want. AI, blah, blah. And guess what? They can keep a client as a lifetime client because that SEO port built the trust, showed them what to do, and gave them the phone calls and the reason why to keep that digital agency forever, keep them around forever. It's a win-win for everyone because the agency gets paid every month. The dentist keeps getting $20,000 customers every week, and I keep getting a $300 monthly retainer.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Is it a monthly retainer that they keep you on then for $300 then to run? I suppose you probably help them with their own SEO as well.
Of course. They always want that. Have you ever heard of the cobbler has no shoes
Yeah.
analogy? Well, I hear that like for 30 years. Okay, why not we start with my website first? They want the phone to ring too. And I love helping anyone else. Anyone who wants a 30-day trial is a good candidate for my SEO campaign, which will focus on deliverables, leads, and keeping them #1 ranking for their keywords.
So just for me, my clarification. So say if an agency has 10 clients, do you then bill them per client?
Yeah, 300 per website.
Okay.
But they all get the trial to find out if it works. That trial is what gets all the visibility and the rankings in Google for the traditional search. The traditional search is still making up right now 99% of overall traffic. And that's people like searching for Salt Lake City dentist, Salt Lake City tree removal. And there's a strategy to do all that work, right? Any SEO company is going to focus on a 3-legged stool approach. For instance, one of the leg would be a Google business profile. The other leg would be on-page optimization. The other leg would be off-page citation building. But guess what? If I'm sitting on a 3-legged stool, I'm going to sit pretty comfortably, would you say? I mean, you can't fall on a 3-legged stool. But if I reach my hand underneath the seat of the stool, I'll feel a little nubbin, a nubbin that's growing to hit the ground. That's the LLM models, the generative AI that everyone's talking about. But right now, it's only like 1% of the overall traffic, which is still very minimum. I mean, you cannot neglect the 99%. You have to, because the dentist wants phone calls. I mean, you're not going to get it in selling a big package of generative AI stuff. I mean, you might, not to say that you want to neglect that. You have to focus, but that nubbin under the bottom of the seat of the stool is turning into a 4th leg. And it's hitting the ground as we speak. It's growing. But does that put it into perspective? The strategy
definitely.
and where we are today?
Yeah, no, definitely. So if they're the agency, does the agency then offer your trial? Because obviously you're white label in the background.
Of course.
So say they get a client, they will just pass that off sort of as their own trial, I would say.
Of course. How else are they going to build trust?
Yeah, cool.
I mean, the tree arborists, the dentists, they want to pay that agency, but they're a little skeptical. How many times have they been burned in the past?
Yeah.
And isn't that a great way to put the proof in the pudding, they call it, or put your money where your mouth is? Let us just fix the problem. 9 times out of 10, I tell digital agencies, don't ever use the word SEO ever in your
Yeah.
conversation.
Yeah.
Why? They feel that if they ever bring it up, they might end up talking so much about their checklists of all the great things they do. And the client, the dentist, doesn't want to hear it. It's a cut. All they are doing is turning like a red beet. They're turning angry. They don't
That's
want to
it.
talk about SEO. Why? Because they've been burned in the past. Talk about fixing the problem. The
Okay.
problem that dentist, that tree removal company has is they just want phone calls and web traffic. Tell them SEO is the ends to the means. We're going to get
Mm.
it by attributing #1 ranking so we can show you phone calls and web traffic. Let us get started. That
Yeah.
says a
No.
lot to a dentist who's been
Mm.
burned in the past.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
No, definitely focusing on the gap instead of saying the actual solution of how you're going to do it. Just focus on the gap and how you're going to bridge that gap. This is what we're going to make sure that you get the phone calls. You're going to get the desired state is definitely the way to go, especially if they've been burned before. Do you know what I mean? It'll give them type of PTSD type of thing when they hear certain words if they've been burned before. So
It's
definitely a good
buzzwords that
strategy.
will you can tell when people are fidgety in the chair. And if you've
Mm.
ever tried to close a deal and that person there's something, some PTSD that's
Mm.
really disturbing them.
Mm.
Wow.
But
What a game changer it is. That's why my
yeah.
company's called SEO Game. I want to be a
Okay.
game changer for digital agents. That's what I've been doing for 29 years. I understand it better than anyone else. I want digital agencies to succeed. And there's only one way to do it.
Mhm.
Laser focus on your lifetime clients. Because if you get one lifetime client, it's a catchy. You got to get another one. And my agentic AI sales AI tool that gives 5 referrals a day helps the digital agency select 160 categories so that
Mm.
they can stay laser focused. If they want a new category, they get to select it. But let's say they just want to focus on tree removal companies. Well, that's great. But if you want to focus on dentists the next week, you get to do that. But I'm going to be
Yeah.
behind the scenes helping you get those referrals and introductions. But, you know, focus and close those deals so we can grow and scale your business, get lifetime clients.
With your CRM that gives them the 5 clients, does that
Yeah.
include do you reach out to these clients and let them, or is it just sort of giving them?
It's a little bit of hit and miss, but we've built ourselves quite a big of database. In fact, I've teamed up with a company that actually helps me with the referrals, and they're a larger agency, a lot larger than I am, who has a
Mhm.
lot more experience in clients that were, so we have insider information about these industries that we place in there. The categories they get to select. We pre-selected categories on purpose because we have a specialty of lots of leads, but
Mhm.
we also know how to fill in and get more leads. And we help the digital agency stay focused on the leads that they want to close on. So I'm their guy that helps them and coaches them to say, okay, you're not closing too many tree removal companies. Why is it? And it's like there's
Yeah.
got to be a reason. And I usually can find out what they're doing wrong. So I get with them and we role play a little bit or something like that. But
So with the agency, then when they contact these leads, is that the first port of contact that anybody's had with them, or have you already
no,
contacted?
no,
That's what I
no.
mean. Yeah.
These owners of the businesses, I'm sure, but this might be the very, the very, very first time that they've ever received an offer of a 30-day trial or test drive, and very low rates, because I want my digital agencies charging a lot lower than most digital agencies charge. I don't know if you know the average price of what SEO goes right now, but
No.
most of them start in the high 4 digits of
Yeah.
like, let's see, yeah, here's the setup fee,
Mm.
and here's all the blah, blah, blah. And it turns off. I mean, those do not last the long term, right?
No. No.
Agencies aren't going to get, so if you can keep your pricing down, listen,
Uh,
a dental marketing agency is going to charge $1,000 for an SEO campaign because they're getting $20,000 clients.
mm. Yeah.
Any dentist who's getting $20,000 butts in the chair is going to
Mhm.
be able to afford $1,000 SEO cap,
Yeah.
right? As long as it keeps
Mhm.
coming in and they keep getting their weekly butt in the chair.
Mm.
But maybe there's certain clients like they're individual owners. They're maybe power washer guys, window tinters. I mean,
Yeah.
great people to do SEO for.
Mm.
Floor. One of my favorite categories is epoxy flooring. for
Okay.
garage flooring. Great,
Mm,
great, great to have a garage flooring that looks like a studio, right? Or
mm.
beautiful flooring. And some guys like to do that. Like I like, you should see my basement. I have a man cave, right? And you
Yeah.
put those epoxy flooring in the bottom, and it looks really cool. And
Mm,
it's warm and inviting in the garage. And you can make a really cool den. You need to hire a floor, epoxy floor guy, garage flooring guy to come in. And those guys, you get a little scared when the budget's like, I can, it's $4,000 to get you number one. Keep your fingers
mm.
crossed, and we'll do. They
Yeah.
just don't. They don't stay long. But if they're affordable, they can keep going. But then once they start booking up their calendar and they're booked for the year, these garage flooring guys, man, they'll give you a percentage of deals. They really make the digital agency happy because they're constantly, getting them more
Uh,
lead. And by the way, one thing that's really cool about all these agencies that I work for and their clients, which are the 160 categories of the bricks and mortar and the home services, one thing that's really cool about all that is they never say these words. Stop sending me more web traffic. Stop sending me more phone calls. They never say that. They're always
no, I
looking at the
bet.
digital agency. The agency's always coming up with the solution, at least the smart ones, right? They're not just putting all the weight back at me and saying, we got to do more SEO. What more can you do for $300 a month, Mark? No, 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 no. You got
No.
to do more. They want paid more. They want more website. They want social. They want an email
Mm,
marketing campaign. They want more
yeah.
conversion rate optimization. They want leads. Get them leads. They can afford it. They'll pay for it. They'll pay you to get them more traffic.
Especially with them type of agencies as businesses, sorry, as well, like, you know, plumbers, flipping any type of these type of business, they don't mind paying for it as long as the leads are coming in. Do you know? They
As
don't
long as
mind.
it's working.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
can check their ROI and they can check
Mm,
their margins, and they got it.
mm,
They'll
yeah.
pay the
Yeah.
digital agency any price, and the agency understands that. Keep them as a lifetime client. Keep them always happy. Always remember, the agency always needs to remember. They need to always stick their 5 fingers in their face and say, I was thinking about you. And they always need to tell the client, I was thinking about you. Here's what we can do now. Here's what we can do
Mm,
now. If
yeah.
agencies are smart, they would always stick their hand in front of their face, count the fingers that they have, and then call them in the morning and say, I was thinking about you. We need to
Mm,
do this. They're
definitely.
willing to pay
Definitely.
for it. If they already are doing well with, they have a good track record, they'll continue to build the trust and have a
Right.
lifetime client.
So, Mark, what are the biggest trends that you're seeing inside the market right now?
Wow. The word SEO, I hate it. I wish it would turn into visibility, engine optimization, something related to that. Google continues to keep getting evil, even though they're in competition now with, as I mentioned, with other browsers.
Mm,
We've got Atlas, Comet. Have you
mm,
heard of those?
but yeah,
Well, ChatGPT, have you heard of that?
of course I have.
Well, ChatGPT has a browser that's a direct competition with Chrome. It's called Atlas.
Oh, wow.
Everybody's talking about it. And Atlas does wonderful things, right? But
Mm,
it's also bringing in traffic to the website. How do I get the most amount of traffic from that? How do I take my Google Analytics and it's only showing 1%? And what am
mm,
I doing to get it to 4%? How am I going to double it to at least 2%, then to
mm,
4%, then to 8%? Somebody's figuring that out. I'm trying to work that out. I'm trying to
mm,
work that out so I can help the digital agencies with the number one problem. Do you know what the number one problem digital agencies have? As
no.
well as owners of websites, they
What's
have a
that?
disease. They're sick puppies. They have a disease called FOMO, fear of missing out, and
Yeah.
they are scared. They're scared of the traffic that they think their competitors is
Mm,
getting out over them.
yeah.
Why aren't we I watched that TikTok video, that YouTube video. It told me I should be doing all these things, right?
Yeah.
They need a coach. They need to say, here's a plan.
Mm,
Here's what we're doing. Let's take a look. Step back. What's the percentage in Google Analytic traffic? Whoa,
mm,
1%? Well, that's pretty small. We can do better than that, right? And then they need to know what we're doing, and they need a plan and a coach, and they need to solve the problem of FOMO. Do you see how valuable that is? We're
mm,
in this stage. We'll break out of it. There's a lot of, directions to go, but I think
mm.
that's the trend there's going to be a clear winner of how to do it, and we won't be having to always reinvent the wheel of how we're doing it. I think it's going to be clear of what we're going to be doing. Right now, there's a lot of FOMO going on.
New things come out, especially, it's human nature to think that we're missing out on things, especially like businesses, thinking that they're missing out on money with, like, for example, what you're talking about there, search. And engine optimization with the ChatGPTs and things like that. Is that got its own name? I suppose probably got its own name, hasn't it, with ChatGPT?
Oh yeah, they're calling it AI, SEO or
SEO.
generative engine optimization, or
Yeah.
because we're in a semantic, searching right now, which is
Mm,
totally changed versus traditional search. Traditional
mhm.
search is still bringing in 99% of the organic traffic. If you look at Google Analytics and you want to compare organic traffic to generative engine optimization strategy and how much traffic Perplexity, Gemini, and ChatGPT are bringing in, you add all those big three companies we all know and love,
Yeah.
but when they only equal to 1% of all the overall traffic, something has to be done. And we're going to clear cut winners in marketing agencies are going to be there and be able to say, listen, we know what we're doing and we're getting the results that are bringing in more phone calls, more web traffic from our busy work. Because right now it's just a lot of busy work and smoke and mirrors. We want to get clear cut winners. Hope I hope I'm one of them. I hope I'm on the leaderboard.
Yeah, definitely. I bet. No, definitely. You have to, find out. There's no point, all rushing to try and solve different things that they might not need solving yet. But it will become, like you say, it will become clear sooner
It
rather than
all
later, I
become
would say.
clear just like when I started SEO in 1996. SEO Game started in 1996. That was pre-Google. So at the day of pre-Google, all of us SEO people were just all trying to confuse everybody by let us get you number one rankings in the search engines. That was it. And it meant
Mm.
nothing. There were the search engines. And then Google came in, there was a clear-cut winner, right? Now we have Bing and a few, but it's nothing like we got to get you in the search. We need to get you ranking Google, and Google's still
Mm.
around, right? But there's a lot of hula hoops and there's a lot of evil things going on still there. I think a lot of people got tired of Google's, but there's going to be clear cut winners. It's all going to still be decisions still have to make. I mean, when we started the internet, I started the internet thing when my biggest competition was the back of a phone book. Oh,
Yeah.
does this help me with getting more fax traffic? I want more people faxing me, right? That's what I had to deal with to tell them, no, you
Mm.
need a website. Let my
Mm.
ISP help you. This was early 90s.
Mm.
This is what the hotel manager wanted. They wanted a new website and they wanted, reservations, and nothing's changed. What I've told you earlier, that things have not changed in my industry since I'm white label, things like digital agencies have not changed. They always wanted their vendor to do their job,
Mm.
be a low cut price so they could pad the price and offer a little so that they can have some margins. I like the agencies at least have 70% margin. That's a pretty good deal. If I'm doing all the work and they're getting 70% of the margins, all they have
Mm.
to do is just close the deals and keep the client happy. And those things have not changed. So my pricing hasn't changed. Maybe it should. The services of trials and getting a 30-day test drive to get all this working for them to build trust. And I'll always I guarantee there's always going to be agencies that are going to want to have a partner, visibility engine optimization strategist like myself,
Mm.
to help
Mm.
them. And I'm hoping
Yeah.
I can continue to stay vibrant throughout 2026.
You're safe. I think you definitely will be.
Things keep me up at night, I swear. Thanks for your confidence. I'll take it.
So, Mark, what's working well, and where do you still feel a slight friction with SEO Game?
Well, agencies always like the ability to have good reports and
Mhm.
just staying in touch with them on a every week basis with my 7 deliverables. I know I can improve. I'm a one man shop, and so
Mm.
I'm going to be, I eventually just gonna, the SEO games, the rub is making sure I have still quality time with my family and doing this. I'm managing so many websites. I help the digital agency. Last I counted, I helped 300 digital agencies in the last 5 years, just right before COVID. And that's
Mm.
a lot of
Wow.
digital agencies paying me $300 a month for one project or another.
Yeah.
And I want to increase that. I think that's my goal, is because the ones that stick around and stay with me are successful. The ones that do not end up becoming the next real estate agent. And I'm on a mission to keep digital agencies from converting into becoming, well, I tried digital marketing agency. Now I'm a real estate agent. I think the world's full of real estate agents, and I don't think we need any more. So that's my goal.
That many clients that you're serving, even if it's $300, but across the mass of what you're serving, it's definitely, I mean, you're doing good work and it's a healthy business, definitely. So did you mention that? I think you just mentioned that. Is it just you that runs all this?
Yeah, it's me.
Wow. So like, how do you acquire clients? How do you acquire agencies to take on new
Well,
work? Like, what's
that's
your
lead
client
gen, right?
acquisition?
The only thing that's worked for me, and I call them circles of networking companies. I'm in currently at least three. One happens to be one where it's very transactional, actually. And some people hate networking with transactions. They want it to be all relationship. Well, I got
Mm,
a few of those. They're fine. It's still on the honor system, right? You could
yeah.
give somebody a referral every day for the rest of his life, and he's still never going to give you anything,
Mm.
right? Eventually, you get bored with that. Hey, I keep giving you a referral every day. Why is it that you can't give me one? And he goes, well,
Yeah.
I just need more leads. Well, okay, why are you in this networking group, right? But then I'm
Mm,
in a very transactional networking group where we get paid money for giving out referrals. But all of my business through finding more digital agencies, because if I were to do it on my own, and I do, in fact, reminds me I need to check why I didn't get any referrals today through my lead connector, which is in text messages. It must be dry. I need to probably throw some more money into it. But I know it's not as effective if I get a referral on my own and I'm doing a text message to some poor stranger chap who's going, why did you text me and F-bomb this, F-bomb that? Right? That doesn't always get in the door. Sometimes it works, but on my own, I cannot get referrals to talk to digital agencies for the life of me, except through just a little account, little LinkedIn here and there, little
mm.
this and that. But when it comes to good power connectors, I love power connectors. I love helping them, and they love helping me. There's a little bit of kickback in the transaction, and I love helping the people who I service. And that's a little bit about networking. So that's how I grow.
So yeah, through networking and through referrals, through being in different groups, and you prefer
Yeah.
obviously transactional ones where you get paid to give you lead.
Yeah.
You get paid for giving referrals. That's interesting. Interesting.
Yeah, absolutely. And then there's the volunteer ones where the people are just different. They will never join the Connective, which is a networking group that gives me payouts, and I have
Hmm.
to pay out people who refer
Mm.
me. They're going to give me a
Mm.
digital agency. I have to close a deal and then write in the notes in the back end, and then Stripe payments go to town, and then they get a percentage when I close the deal, which is
Okay.
good. Yeah, I got a
Yeah.
lot of little sales. I got the good sales executives, and they know exactly what I'm about, and they can say,
Mm.
Mark, you need to meet this web designer. They are building a website for me, and you could probably kick back. My website's expensive, so I wouldn't mind a kickback if I give you a referral. You'll give me a
Mhm.
kickback, right? And I go, yeah, give
Yeah.
me an introduction to that web designer. And the web
Yeah.
designer is like, man, if I make that work for that web designer, she or he, they're very successful. That's great kickback. They're gonna constantly
Mm.
always use my services, and
Mm.
I'll give them a reward once the deal is closed.
So does this form like a predictable lead count month to month by doing it
Oh
this way?
yeah. I mean, have you seen my calendar? My calendar's full. It's
Yeah.
great to have a calendar full.
Mm.
It's great
Definitely.
to be in a networking. And when my calendar stops getting full, like I look at it the next week and I'm going, holy cow, I got some big spots open. I wonder if I'm doing my job. It tells me I need to do my job. It tells me I need to go into the circles. I got a circle that in one group, and I got another group of 400 people, another group of 800 people. And I'll just go in there and I'll just go, hey, we haven't met for a while, and then link them up,
Yeah.
link in LinkedIn and chat them up a bit and say, we need to do another one-to-one. And then the events should be all about networking, right? It's not about give, take,
Mhm.
or just give, right? Some people just want to receive and they're never going to give. And I say, let's see what we can both do today. There's a lot of technique in networking.
Mm.
And I've been networking for 29 years now. And so I think I know a little bit about what it takes to give and be able to easily find people. Because some people are very difficult to give referrals. Their ask is just out of the extraordinary big ticket, impossible to ever. And I have no idea who they want to meet because they just are talking like I expect that. No, I have no idea who this person is that you described. Some warehouse junkie that does this, and I don't hang out in warehouses, so I can't agree to anyone, right? Anyway, yeah, networking takes skill. You have to know how to be easy. You have to be the guy that knows how to easily receive referrals, so I can give you something. And then if you're networking, Stefan, you've got to be able to say, "Hey, I'm making it easy for you today. Here's how to give me a referral. I'm looking for, a web designer, a
Yeah.
digital marketing person, somebody in that space who. Hopefully they might take me up on the offer and
Well,
we'll exchange a few referrals from each other."
yeah. It seems to have worked after doing this for as long as you've done it, and to stay successful as you have been. To any business that can last 29 years through all these different things, even if just to stay afloat is successful, let alone to do what you've done.
Yeah, it's very important to look at where your calendar today is everything, right? And how many discovery calls am I doing today? Well, I'm only doing one today. Normally I'm doing threes. I want to do
Mm,
more, right? Networking calls. How many networking calls? You have to classify it into those two categories. And it can't
definitely.
just be, you can't, yeah. So that's what a good networker skill is. I mean, knowing
Um,
where to get more, you got to go to the people who will give you good referrals. You got to go to the people who gave you a good referral last time. You got to share with them the experience you had with the person that they gave, because they're probably not going to, if they're going to introduce me to a fractional CMO, well, they're going to want to be guarding me. They're going to guard that fractional CMO a little bit
mm.
because they want to make sure I'm not going to pitch slap them. You know, everybody wants to network, but do you really want to network, or do you just want to pitch slap them? Nobody wants to be
Yeah.
pitch slapped today, do they?
They kind of serve each other, they definitely serve each other, and it's all about bringing value to one to be able to get you into the other one. I feel like
Yeah.
that's a lot where we're at in sales.
And follow up with the person who gave you a referral and tell them what an experience, and let them know what happened, and to give them a report. That's
Yeah.
that's really good. I should do
Mhm.
that better. I know I sometimes get really good talky, but
Yeah.
then I forget the hand that fed me, right?
Definitely. So my last two questions are: where do you want to be in terms of business in the next 12 to 18 months?
I want to still be on the leaderboard. I want to be the only
Yeah.
digital agency that is cutting edge doing things that no other digital agency is doing. And I'm doing that, even with this last Thanksgiving, we had a big break on Thursday, and I've been working really hard on my newer strategy. I think every year around Thanksgiving time period, December, I take the whole, recalibrating what I'm doing. And then I hope to be there again in 20, the
Mm.
month before 2027, doing something similar. So I'm
Mm.
top of game.
Yeah.
Being the company named SEO Game, I got to be at the top of my game. And
Yeah.
notice my company's not SEO Games, because I don't want to be playing games with people's livelihoods,
Mm.
because that's
Yeah.
serious. So I'm just SEO Game, top of my game, helping the digital agency with their game. That's where
Yeah, the slogan, that definitely. So, Mark, if you could wave a magic wand and fix one bottleneck in your business, what would it be and why?
Well, I have a magic wand right here, as a matter of fact. This is no ordinary magic wand, Stefan. This is the SEO Game magic wand. And if I could do anything right now with this and the 100 other boba straws that I have, that I can put more stickers on and put it in an envelope. I want to litter my testimonial page of people like agencies waving, do more Zoom meetings, or in this platform, I think it's called Riverside, where I'm able to get the client on there. I've mailed them a magic wand, and they're like literally saying the magic wand words. If you had this SEO Game magic wand, you need to talk to Mark, and you need to engage with him so he could help you grow and scale your digital agency. And if I littered my testimonial page, that's what I'm working now with my virtual assistant. But if I could get a testimonial page with everybody waving magic wands saying, you need the guy that's behind the curtain, the wizard behind the
Yeah.
curtain. And SEO Game will help you with your visibility problem for your clients, to help with phone calls
Mm.
and web traffic. So you're going after lifetime clients. And if I get everyone just saying those little 30-second testimonials. And could you
Yeah.
imagine going to my testimonial page by 2027 and you see 12 guys going like this? You're gonna wanna listen to them, and
No,
it's
definitely.
fun because they're all doing the same thing, waving their magic wand. So I want more magic wands in my life.
Interesting answer to the question. I ask that question every time and I always get different answers, and I've definitely never had that answer. It's definitely true though. Do you know what I mean? Flooding your testimonials with client proof, things like that is such a strong, powerful way to prove, to have to build that trust up. It builds trust instantly when someone sees that and they're like, okay, if all these people are saying that, then I definitely want to work with him as well. So it's definitely a good strategy.
Thank you. I thought I'd throw a curveball at you. You were not expecting that.
I was not expecting that. But Mark, I just want to say thank you for coming on. I really appreciate it. I thought it's been a brilliant podcast. We've got some great insights into your industry and, not just the SEO industry, but the way the way you serve your clients being the digital marketing agency as opposed to directly to the clients, and the way that you navigate through that to be able to help them get clients. It's been eye-opening and definitely interesting. So I just want to say thank you for coming on and giving us your time today.
Well, thank you. I know we went long. If people are
No,
still
it's
with
okay.
us, just go and visit
Definitely.
me at SEOgame.com or check me out on LinkedIn at Mark Harry, and you'll get a magic wand for sure. And Chessie here, she's the queen of the company. She's going to be your most valuable player going forward in 2026.
Well, there you have it, folks. That's where you reach Mark and at SEO Game and on his LinkedIn. And everybody like, comment, subscribe, send to somebody if they're interested in getting their website to be hitting more at the top page of Google, things like that. Hit up Mark and send this to a friend.
Awesome.